So here's a quote from Dzogchen Ponlop on the theme of Buddha nature. The Buddha taught that there is no enlightenment and no wisdom outside our own minds. From this perspective, what we gain from teachers, from scriptures, or from following the spiritual path through all its stages is not something new or external to us. When we follow the path, we simply gain more skillful methods to uncover our own wisdom and our own enlightenment. So there's no enlightenment, wisdom outside our own minds. And when we follow the path, we simply gain more skillful methods to uncover our own wisdom and our own enlightenment. So again, that reminder that mind is not just our thoughts, it's the whole of our mind and our hearts. And those are what we are trying to awaken in this process. But also, I don't think you can separate them from the body. Yeah, we inhabit the world, we experience the world through the body, through our senses. It's the vehicle through which we go through our lives, is the body. And on a very real level, the body has its wisdom, it keeps us grounded, but it's aware. There's so much that the body is aware of that we may not be consciously aware of, and any experience we have will, the body will have its response to, its memory of, yeah. So we're wanting to, connect with the body's wisdom, the heart's wisdom, the mind's wisdom in all of those ways when we're trying to gain insight and awakening. Yeah. And that move from small mind, very ego-based mind, very me-centered, identified mind, to that big mind. Yeah, that shift. And paradoxically, one of the ways we get there is through being in the very personal, very immediate experiences in our bodies and in the rest of our experience. And Paramananda said something quite interesting when I last did a retreat with him that sort of stayed in my mind. He said, as long as we're centered in small mind, we're always going to be dissatisfied. Something like that. Yeah. Because we're wanting what we want and we never get exactly what we want, or we lose what we want, all these kinds of things. And so the focus is very much on, what's unsatisfactory, the defects of samsara in a way. And when we're more open, and I think that our ego, it's not that it's wrong to have an ego or a thinking mind or an identity, or all these kinds of things, as long as we're aware that they're provisional, that it's not ultimate reality and we don't get fixed and attached to it and then go into all the kind of follow-on patterns that ensue. But I think often, our egos do get in the way of us expanding into that big mind of, opening to the spaciousness, the stillness, the interconnectedness, do get in the way of us contacting that Buddha nature, because its concerns are a little bit smaller, more constricted, more contracted, more self-referential. Yeah. And I also want to just say again that in a way we start where we are with our own experience, but this awakening experience is a process that's happening all the time, moment by moment. Every experience, everything that happens is an opportunity for that awakening, and actually, especially things that might be not what we want, dukkha, it does, coming into relation with that, with our reactions to that, or with reality, can be a gateway to awakening and more insight and more awareness, freedom, more liberation, even in little bits and little bits and little bits, and then sometimes it's a big bit. We get those experiences, we can't hang on to them, but if we're practicing, the fruits of practice will make more and more of that happen. Let's get more and more in touch with that. But we don't have to go outside for that, So that reading I just read from Dzogchen Ponlop, there's no enlightenment, no wisdom outside our own minds. So it follows that actually, if we are exploring our own minds in meditation, that's all we need, really. And also, the body is a very immediate way of exploring things like impermanence, dukkha. That's how we experience. We do experience our bodies as unsatisfactory, and we experience pain, discomfort, aging, all kinds of things, illness. Maybe it doesn't look the way we want it to look. So it's a real opportunity to explore dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, our responses to that, and also impermanence, because it's changing all the time. And we are going to die, even if we prefer not to remember that. So one more quote before we get down to meditating, and this is another Pema Chodron. This very body that we have, that's sitting here right now, with its aches and pleasures, is exactly what we need to be fully human, fully awake, fully alive. This very body that we have, that's sitting here right now, with its aches and pleasures, is exactly what we need to be fully human, fully awake, fully alive. So if you move into your meditation posture now, so you may want to sit, you may want to lie. So coming into your body, inhabiting the body, coming home to your body. Do you have that sense of the body being a home? Or perhaps you're a little bit cut off from it. But just so you can have that sense of being in your body, arriving in your body. Do you feel welcome in your body? Do you welcome the experience of your body? So just being aware of your posture, particular shape, position your body is in right now, and what that actually feels like. The experience right now. Physical experience of your body, of being your body in this particular posture. So bringing awareness to what posture you're in. Are you sitting? Are you lying down? Standing? And what does it actually feel like being in this posture? The shape of it, the weight of your body. Connection with the ground. So if you're lying down, maybe feeling support the back of your head, whatever it's resting on. Noticing which parts of your body are in contact with the ground. Your knees raised up in semi-supine position, or are your legs extended? Do you have support underneath the knees so that the pelvis and the hips and the back can be flat against the floor? So if you're lying down, just noticing if the shoulders, which parts of the back, buttocks are in contact with the ground, which parts of the legs, the feet, the arms, the hands. If you're sitting on cushions and mats, on a stool, perhaps feeling that contact with your knees, the ground, parts of the feet, parts of the legs, and feeling supported by the cushions or stool you're sitting on. If you're sitting on a chair, feeling that contact, the soles of your feet, pads of your toes, but noticing not all of the foot is in contact. So what does it feel like? That contact. Where do you feel that contact? Perhaps the heels, ball of the foot, pads of the toes. Not the arch of the foot, not the joints of the toes. But feeling the weight of the upper part of your body flowing down through the pelvis and the sitting bones, buttocks into the seat. So broad awareness of your whole body. Body for the moment being your field of awareness. That includes the legs and the feet, the arms and the hands, the torso, the neck and the head. And just noticing any sensations you're experiencing right now that maybe feel uncomfortable, a bit unpleasant, irritating. Maybe even painful. Maybe there's an itch, an ache, tenderness, tension somewhere in the body. So in your own way, just scanning through your body and noticing anywhere that there's a sensation that's a bit unpleasant, a bit uncomfortable. And if there's pain and it feels too much, you don't have to stay there, but just turning towards it, bringing awareness to it, an attitude of kindness and care, tenderness, compassion, not ignoring it, not getting completely caught up or identified with it, but just being aware it's there. Including it in your experience. And if it helps to breathe into that area, imagine softening or releasing. Just doing what you need to do. If there is any pain, any discomfort, is it possible to just stay there for a little while and notice, moment by moment, the sensations? So not what you expect, but what are you actually experiencing right now in that area? What does it actually feel like, the experience of it? Direct experience in this moment. Is there any change there? I mean, there's lots of different elements that make up what you've broadly labelled as I've got a pain here, a back pain, stomach ache, whatever it might be. Maybe when you pay a little more detailed attention, you notice that things are changing. Moment by moment. It's not fixed. Broadening out to include more of your body. Perhaps noticing that there's areas of the body that there's an absence of pain and discomfort. And also areas of the body where there may be pleasant sensations. So is it possible to include both in your awareness? Pleasant, unpleasant sensations. And also sensations that are neither pleasant or unpleasant, but just are. Maybe recollecting your experience of your body earlier today, earlier this week. If there was any pain or discomfort that you were experiencing then that's not there now. And if there are any sensations, pleasant or unpleasant, you're aware of now that you weren't aware of before. So just opening to the flow, sensations arising, passing away in your body. And any experience through the senses, part of the sensations we experience in the body. So anything you can smell or taste, anything you can see, even if your eyes are closed, perhaps there's something in your field of vision behind the eyelid. Sense of touch, contact with the ground, what you're sitting on, perhaps with a blanket or cushion. Sensation of clothes against your skin. And the sense of sound, so sounds entering your ears. Visual field, we also have an auditory field, so what can you hear? Soundscape, layers of sounds, sounds coming and going. Even if there are one or two sounds that feel constant, just pay attention, notice if there's any changes in the moment. But also noticing some sounds are there and then gone. Some sounds recur. Your responses to the sounds, some you may find pleasant or unpleasant. You may react to them, you may like them. Maybe you're feeling distracted by sounds. Someone else in the room or the building, sounds outside. Maybe you'd like it to be different, so just notice that craving for things to be other than they are. And can you let that go and just be with what is? All the sensations, just that sense. Sensations in the body coming and going, and they're just sensations. Sounds, just sensation. and thoughts. Also sensation, mental events coming and going, fixed. You have a broad field of awareness in your mind, taking in the underlying mental state, underlying emotional state, emotions and thoughts. Just as mental events arising in your mind. And that mind, like the blue sky, even if at the moment it's obscured by clouds, cluttered up with other things. And the clouds move away, and you uncover some of those thoughts, feelings. May then you may find them moving away in time as well, just like clouds. Maybe there's some thoughts or feelings that are strong, that are dominating, just allowing the space for them to be there. Knowing that they are impermanent, even if they may be here for longer than some others. Again, if they're painful, difficult, challenging, just bringing some kindness and care, some compassion towards yourself right now. Allowing whatever is there to be there. Allowing you to be who you are, how you are, however messy, however unskillful. Just allowing yourself to be human with all that entails. You're just resting back in your experience, resting back in your body, opening to the flow. Seeing what's there, experiencing what's there. And whatever is happening, moment by moment. There's always an opportunity for awareness, an opportunity for softening, opening the heart and the mind. Awakening just that little bit more. Nothing is permanent. The sun and the moon rise and then set. The bright clear day is followed by the deep dark night. From hour to hour, everything changes. Okay, so we're coming to the end of this morning's session. Invitation if anyone wants to come along to the last lunch lounge between 1 and 2 and just hang out and chat. And then 4 o'clock, well, it's the last day of the retreat, actually. Seems to have come quite quickly, at least for me. So we're hoping that the afternoon slot will be a time when people in groups, and also in the bigger group, we can just kind of do a bit of reporting out, sharing some of our experiences of being on the retreat, maybe noticing anything, anything that's been helpful, unexpected, anything we might take away from it. So it would be really great if as many of you could be there as possible. I think for your own sake, but also as part of a community, it's nice to come together to do that. There'll be a bit of mantra chanting as well. And then the evening will be very much a session of practice again, so ritually ending the retreat. So it'd be good to see you at 4 and at 7, or if you can't make either of them, you can always catch up later online. So I haven't checked recently, but I know that Pasquale is ongoingly putting up recordings of the sessions, and there are texts and things. So people, if you want any of the readings, they will be up on the retreat webpage, though it might not be till tomorrow. So thank you all for coming, and hope to see you a bit later today. Anything you want to say, Pranilita or Ratna?